So in this video I'll show you an idea and I pose a question to you at the end of the video. The idea is all about a formative assessment tool for reflection and dialogue with your students. And in this case, as an example, I've chosen the subject of creativity. So the situation is that the students did a project and I want to reflect with them on how creative they were in doing this subject. What you see here is a Google site, and it's the end result of using the tool. So you have a kind of a dashboard which says something about how I, as a teacher, evaluate Charlotte on how creative she was during the project, and Charlotte also does a self-evaluation. When you put these two diagrams next to each other, you can see where the great differences are. So you can talk about why it is that you think so different about this subject. So, for instance, the blue line is about the originality of the project subject. So Charlotte thinks she did an enormously original subject, but the teacher was a little bit more modest about it, so he gave a 3 out of 5 score, while Charlotte herself gave herself a 5 out of 5 score. So you see the results for Charlotte and you see the results for Ricky. So how did I build this? It's built, in fact, in 5, I can show you here, in 5 documents, 5 files. The first file I made, the first 2 files I made were the student and the teacher forms, of course, to get some input for the diagrams. So this is the teacher form with the questions and the scaling questions, and of course I asked the name, and for the student there is also this form with the same questions, so you can compare the results. From these forms, of course, I've made the spreadsheets, so they look a little bit like this. They come in a first sheet, and with roll call I made a sheet for every student. So you see here a sheet for Charlotte and a sheet for Ricky from the teacher form, and of course the same from the student form. Next thing I did was with roll call, of course all the scores from Charlotte come in here. I made this diagram in the sheet, because when you make a site you can import these diagrams from the sheets. To do this a little bit quicker than one by one, I made one good diagram, one diagram that did what I want to see, and then copy this to all the sheets and just changing the cells that have had to be read from. So I've got this 2 sheets, I've got the forms, and then the page. Well, as you can imagine, to build this, it's quite a lot of work. So the question at the end of this short video is, how would it be possible to do this a little bit more quicker, a little bit more easier? Because when I want to do a test on another skill, for instance cooperation, I have to make all of these files from scratch again and make this whole thing again, so that would take quite a lot of work. If that could be a little bit easier, it will also be easier for teachers to make this themselves. Now it's a little bit difficult, quite a lot of work to make. So any suggestions are very welcome. In the meantime, enjoy the idea of making this dashboard site for yourself and for the students to, well, have this discussion, this reflection on, for instance, this subject of creativity. Thank you.